300 miles from home, I finally discovered myself. They called it a bonding retreat. That's how my wife, Lily, sold it 3 quiet days at her family's cedar cabin somewhere in the Rockies. Her dad, Frank, drove with the smug patience of a man who enjoys being obeyed. Her brother, Chase, whispered jokes to her sister Claire. Her mom, Marjorie, smiled like a hostess who's already picked your seat. The cabin sat on 40 acres of pine and silence. No neighbors, no bars on my phone. That first night, conversations died when I walked in. Watches were checked. Smiles tightened. I told myself I was imagining it. At dawn, they were loading the SUVs. Change of plans, Frank announced. We're heading back. Let me grab my bag, I said. Chase laughed so hard he had to brace on the bumper. Nah, Ethan, you're staying. Character building, rite of passage. He raised his phone to film my reaction. Lily stared at the porch rail. 6 months of marriage and she couldn't meet my eyes. They expected pleading. I sat on the steps and said, "Drive safe." Confusion rippled across their faces. It wasn't in the script. Tail lights vanished, dust settled and the quiet moved in. Relief, not panic, followed it. Inside, I took inventory. Canned beans, matches, a working fireplace, a hand-pumped well. 4 days of food if I ate like a city boy. 8 if I didn't. In a shed out back, beneath a tarp, I found an old Honda trail bike with a dead battery and a gummed-up carb. By late afternoon it coughed to life. 15 miles south, a one-street town nursed coffee and gossip. At Dot's Diner, the owner asked if I could crack eggs and keep a flat top clean. Starts at 5 a.m., cash, breakfast on the house, he said. You game? I'm game. By the 3rd day, the locals knew me as the quiet guy from the cabin who worked hard and tipped better. A contractor named Red offered weekend labor on a lakeside renovation. In the evenings, I read old family journals I'd found in the cabin, yellowed entries on deer trails, trout pools, edible plants. Practical grace notes from people who respected the land more than they performed for each other. Lily's text slid from cheerful to scolding to panicked. When I finally picked up, she said, "Lesson learned. Dad thinks a week is enough. We'll come get you." "I'm not coming back," I said. Her father and brother arrived 2 days later to collect their runaway. I met them on the porch. 3 weeks of dawn, shifts and lumber had trimmed me down and set my shoulders. "You look different," Frank said. "Feels different," I answered. They tried guilt, then threats, then logic. I offered them coffee. They left without it. They returned with a social worker and a counselor. I handed over documents from a lawyer in the county seat. I was employed, competent, a resident by choice. The professionals withdrew, embarrassed to be props. "You'll regret this," Frank warned. "Maybe," I said. "But not today." 6 months later, I bought the cabin outright. Red subcontracted me steady work. I bought the old diner building and turned it into a workshop. On the anniversary, the town came by with pies and handshakes. "Under a sky you can't see from a city," I answered a final blocked message. "I hope you're happy with 2 words. I am." Their joke was meant to break me. It built me instead. I didn't run back. I moved on, and for the first time, the future felt like mine.